So that's the first time I did that. So since I've been here, and it was not Carolyn Stephenson. Not Georgia, not Georgia. What's
The guy?
no, from the Napoleon store. Randy Stephenson's wife. Corinne?
I don't know her name, but okay.
Corinne Stephenson had
The
it
one
before.
here at the mall?
Yep. And then they moved to a different ward.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4:30, so it is the appointed hour for me to call this meeting of the Moorhead Public Service Commission to order. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I would also entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda unless anyone has any particular issues with that.
John?
Moved.
None being heard, I got a motion.
Second.
I have 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Customers to be heard and recognitions. We'll move right to the action since we have some visitors. So, Bill, you want to start us out here with?
Well, annually we do the scholarship program, or we award scholarships for local people that write us essays and actually some videos. So we've got, I think, Casey, we've got some videos that we're going to show, but maybe we're doing that later. We'll do that later, or?
No, we can do it after the presentation.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then there's, well, Casey, could you tell us a little bit about the how many there are? And I know MMUA, they go on for future, or they go on further for other possible awards with the statewide program. But Casey's the one who administers this, so she knows more about it. So I'm going to let her take over on that.
Sure. We have 3 scholarship programs. We have a customer essay scholarship program. We also have an employee essay program and a video scholarship program. The employee and customer essay is on what municipal utilities do for us, or let's see, I don't even have the theme in front of me, but I believe that's what it is. And that goes on to the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association statewide contest as far as the customer essay goes, and that can get an additional up to $2,500. I believe they award 4 places for that one, and last year our recipient of our first place essay winner received 2nd place at the statewide contest, and we've also had a couple of first place ones in the past, so that's been a good program for us. The video scholarship is in-house only, and we also have a $750 scholarship partnership with M-State Wadena for their line worker school to get that partnership going there. We've started that in 2014. We received about 6 or 7 essays this year, and I think 3 video entries. So these are the 1st and 2nd place winners, is what Dave will announce shortly.
Cool. All righty. Well, without further ado, then, why don't we just get into it, because we have some visitors here that we get to recognize. Our co-chair, Ralph, is going to step down to the podium to represent all of us in presenting certificates. So
they have to take a picture with me?
yeah, they have to take a picture with, who's our photographer today? Dennis, usually?
Nobody said anything, but I'm willing to do it.
But yeah, I noticed you had your camera out, so, yeah. Or your phone or whatever the heck it is, so, yeah.
I can do it.
Okay? Oh, right, okay, good deal. Well, as Casey was spelling out, each year Moorhead Public Service is proud to sponsor the scholarship program and to award these particular scholarships to local students. So as I introduced each scholarship recipient, our co-chair Ralph will present you with a certificate. I ask that each recipient just come down to the podium for their certificate and a photo, since we have an iPhone or a smartphone or something available that we're going to take pictures with. So thank you, Dennis. Michaela Allen. Hi, Michaela. Michaela is awarded first place in MPS Public Power Essay Customer Scholarship Contest for $1,000. Michaela recently graduated from Moorhead High, go Spuds, and plans to attend Concordia College in Moorhead to major in business health care. And we would be glad, I work for Sanford, would be glad to talk to you anytime. She is the daughter of David and Leisha Allen, and looks like mom's here. Yeah, okay. And dad's there too. Thanks for coming, folks, and congratulations. Jonah Jelinski, do I have that right? Jonah?
Jonah is not here.
Jonah's not here, okay. Well, Jonah, wherever you are, at work, well, in fact, he's working, so. Then we'll move on to Ashley John. Ashley? Ashley is awarded first place in MPS Public Power Essay Employee Scholarship Contest for $1,000. As well as first place in MPS Video Scholarship Contest for an additional $1,000, which is pretty impressive. Ashley recently graduated from Dilworth Glendon Felton High School and plans to attend Concordia College in Moorhead to major in environmental studies. She is the daughter of Eric and Bridget John. Eric and Bridget are here too. All righty. Ashley's father is Eric. Ashley's father, Eric, is employed by MPS as a lineman in charge. So thank you for being with us today, and congratulations to you winners. So glad to hear that you're going to stay in the community for college as well. That sounds great. So, alrighty. Casey, Bill, anything further?
Yes, I may have missed it at the beginning, but I also want to announce our winner of the $750 M-State Line Worker Scholarship with Wadena.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sponsor, and that is Wyatt Riddell.
Oh.
Riddell from Moose Lake, Minnesota. So that was the 2017 recipient.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good. Yeah, that wasn't in my notes here, but okay.
And we will play, if there's time, we can play Ashley's
Oh, yeah, let's take a look.
first place entry.
Yeah, we want to see the video. You bet.
Okay.
So don't leave yet. We're going to look at the video. All right.
I know.
Water is essential for life. After all, we use it for everything. According to EPA.gov, between 80 and 100 gallons are used per year per U.S. citizen. However, a 4-person family can waste up to 9,400 gallons every single year. Because of this, we may begin to wonder what would happen if we woke up one day and water had suddenly vanished. Well, first of all, we would all probably die. After all, we are made up of 70% water. But let's assume for just a moment that we are perfectly fine. First, you get up in the morning and go into the bathroom to get ready for the day. You try and turn on the faucet, so you can't brush your teeth because no water comes out. You also wouldn't be able to use the bathroom, take a shower, and without water, you also wouldn't be able to wash your face. So you give up on that and head into the kitchen to try and find something to eat for breakfast. You move over to your kitchen cupboards and reach for some apple slices, which would probably look like this. Then you go into your refrigerator and try and find some raspberries, but they would look like that too. Maybe today you want some toast. So you reach for a piece of bread, but you find that the consistency is much like this crouton. Well, no breakfast for you. So you head on out the door and head to work. When you get outside, you see that the grass around you is brown. No water, the grass can't be green. All of the trees would have no leaves on them, and if they did, they would be brown and crunchy. Everything around you would look just as barren as it does now. Without any water, according to WashingtonPost.com, summers would last forever. I know that sounds great, but these summers would be insanely hot and almost unbearable. In addition to this, there would be no snow and no rain And also, none of those fluffy white clouds, as they are almost completely water vapor. It's predicted that in about 20 years we may be facing a water bankruptcy. Because if you condense all the water in the world down to 1 gallon, only about 1 teaspoon will be fresh water, the water that we can use. Now we see so clearly that water must be conserved. Because of this, we might try and start to think of ways we can do that. First, you can start with only watering your plants in the morning. These cooler temperatures will result in less evaporation, which means you are wasting much less water. So let's move into your kitchen now and see what you can do. Next, only install efficient fixtures. Then, only run the dishwasher when it's completely full. Also, it may surprise you, but use less electricity. Power plants can go through thousands of gallons of water simply trying to keep themselves cool. In your bathroom, one of the most important things is shutting off the water when you're brushing your teeth. Then, make sure that all of your faucets are fixed so none of them leak. A single leaky faucet can waste up to 526 gallons every single year, according to WashingtonPost.com. The final thing you can try is taking shorter showers. Yes, that means you won't have as long to sit and daydream and think about your day, but you will be helping save the planet. If you try and do all of these things, or at least some of them, you will help conserve water and keep this necessity around for your children, their children, your children's children, your children's children's children, and other generations to come.
Awesome. Someone in that video has extremely clean teeth. They hung right in there, though, and they kept that brush going. very, very well done. Commissioners, any comments for the winners from you folks?
Nice job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Yep.
Just to make a comment as far as, I think the video is very appropriate and timely. I think some of us may have seen some of the discussions in California, what they're dealing with water and restrictions and how much water that they can use for a household. I think something to the effect of 50 gallons a day for a household. And if they exceed that, there would be some penalties. Yeah. And when you think of 50 gallons, just like the video expressed, that's not a lot of water. So we're very fortunate, and it was very well done with your video, so congratulations.
On that note, I actually talked to my parents in Germany, and they have not had rain since late April, not a drop. So they're in severe restrictions, so let's hope we don't have to get there ever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we are fortunate here. We, of course, the land of 10,000 lakes, you expect that we have plenty of water. Every once in a while in this part of the world, we've seen the Red River run pretty low, and that's where we get most of our drinking water in this community as well as across the river. So we like it when the river runs like it is today. So again, thank you very much, and congratulations to you both on your wins. So thank you for being with us.
And they may be excused.
And you may be excused. You don't have to say it. The rest of this is a little dull. It's a little dull. All right. Let's move on to old business. Item number 7, old business. Anybody? Oh, do we have another recognition?
We have one more recognition.
Excuse me. Let's not move on then. Let's recognize somebody.
All right, Travis Schmidt, Electrical Engineering Manager. You see a new face in the audience tonight.
Yeah.
His name is Ryan Alvram. He just started July 5th. He's our GIS analyst. He'll be helping Todd out in both the electric and water divisions and cool. fiber division as well with GIS stuff on a day-to-day basis. And he actually was an intern for us about a year ago for about a year. He is a graduate of MSUM, or MSU Moorhead, and was currently working as a contract employee for CenterPoint. Is that CenterPoint Energy out of the cities, and we're happy to have him back.
Cool. Wonderful. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You're back. Yeah. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
I know I've missed a couple of meetings, but I don't remember
Oh,
the beard.
looks hot to me.
It has been a while. Yeah, good to see you.
Can I get a motion to accept the scholarship report?
Oh, yeah, we should probably do that, too.
That's okay. I wasn't available.
All right, well, would someone care to provide
make that
a motion? There, got a motion?
I'll second that.
Got a second? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, we've taken care of that then. Any more recognitions? I recognize people in the audience, but, we don't necessarily have to, Oh, okay. Old business. I'll ask for it again, generally. But we don't tonight, so, okay. Item number 8, reports. Chuck, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just got a couple of things. Yesterday, we went through the groundbreaking ceremony for the 2021st Street Grade Separation Project.
Hallelujah.
So we're pretty excited about that. Mayor Williams, my condolences to her and her family. She must have given that with a heavy heart because her mom died the day before. So my condolences publicly to Mayor Williams.
Absolutely.
Second thing, at the last council meeting, we did pass the electronic funds transfer agreement, 7-0. So it's good to go.
Thank you.
And we expect to take action yet today on
Yeah.
that as well, so, right.
That's all I have.
Okay. And I would repeat my personal condolences, and I think I could speak pretty well for the board here, that our heart goes out to the mayor and her loss. I think she was keeping that fairly well under wraps as she was kind of going through the formalities yesterday and so forth.
Yeah,
But
you never would have known it.
Yeah, I saw a post from her then overnight, and I was quite surprised. So, yeah. So our best wishes and thoughts go out to her and the family. So, thank you, Chuck.
Yep.
Commissioners, anything from you on your individual or group efforts? So, Cheryl, do you have something for us today?
I'd give you something, just to kind of raise, initially at this point in time. Last week, I received a copy of a memo that had been sent through the city website. It was dated July 9th. It was from a concerned citizen who really took the time to write a very thorough and thoughtful letter to explain frustration with billing.
Your mic.
There we go.
I'm sorry, should I start over?
No.
Okay.
No, keep on going.
So anyway, very thorough, very thoughtful letter regarding his frustration with the billing process, the use of the website, and then when he was seeking personal help with the customer services. I guess I would just say at this point in time, I have indicated to this individual that I intend to meet. I'll certainly start with Bill. And we will just kind of try to address, I think, one by one. He gave some very concrete examples of the frustrations he had, and I think we certainly owe it to him to look at each and every one of these and see what we can do to improve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in receipt of that email, and we have responded or are responding to this customer.
Okay.
And then we will be using that very email for training purposes and kind of talk through with our customer service staff on, those types of things. And we do get, ongoing training, and we deal with a lot of customers with, a lot of issues, and we need to handle them professionally and courteously. And he did have some very good points that I think were very, good for us to basically do some training on. So
Yeah,
I thought he did a nice job.
Some very fair examples.
Yep.
This does track well with our strategic plan and some of the additional emphases that we've placed on customer service in our strategic planning for this year. So
We actually referenced the strategic plan in the letter response to this individual and said we were working on things, and in an ongoing way, the services that we're billing for the city, which have increased in amounts quite a bit, especially for apartment dwellers, is a significant addition to their bill. And we're seeing an increased number of, concerned citizens making, are with their, they're not able to pay their bill, or they need, other services that, other supportive services that are available out there, but our staff is doing a lot of work with a lot of people.
We've had an increased frequency of these types of comments and situations, and I know, working with Chris and her team as well, some of these are coming up more and more frequently. So I think it's up to us to provide some concentration on this over the next several weeks and months with the strategic planning, but also just really to start to respond and anticipate. We've talked about what we might need to do in our budgeting to provide for what might be an additional line item for these types of assistance efforts. We're getting some of that via agencies within the state and so forth, but even those are getting us into a little bit of trouble, because it seems even those funds now that are coming through agencies from the state are running out. And that's a bigger conversation that we have started. But I read the letter. I was impressed with the customer's sincere effort to communicate with us and to really do it in a very businesslike and human relations manner. It's an excellent letter, but it points out some things that we can certainly work on.
I agree.
Thanks for bringing it up, Sean.
Yep, thank you.
Bill, or John, yeah.
I would like to see both that letter and the response
Yeah.
here.
You bet.
I didn't want to share it earlier today or this week, because that would have turned us into a meeting. So tonight was our opportunity to do that. as
I'll
a
get
group.
that out to the commission.
And then
Okay.
also maybe a consideration that there is potentially a committee of the commissioners to work on this as well, as an advisory or whatever the case would be. And certainly with my background, I would volunteer to be a part of that if the commission chose to do so.
Okay. Chuck?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Did we get CC'd, Heidi and me?
Yeah, at this point, I suppose we can. Again, I was concerned that if we broadened the conversation, then we were starting to have a meeting over emails and stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand that, believe me. So, okay.
But yeah, now that we've opened the conversation and in form, we can do that. So, sure.
I would also join John if you are looking for two commissioners on that.
I don't think I'll act on that right now. I think it's a good idea. But I think between now and the next meeting, as we formulate an action plan to go forward. But I like the idea. I think the staff would also appreciate our perspectives on that. So it would be great to have a representative team to work with staff on that.
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
Okay. Great. Moving right along. Anything else from any other commissioners? Okay. Bill?
Other than what's in the general manager's report, I don't really have anything unless there's other questions.
Any questions generated by the homework? Had a lot of stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have to go through it all. A lot of media, a lot of attention. Some of it goes back a couple of months, but we haven't been here a lot together. In fact, thank you very much for the attendance tonight, because I don't think we've all been together at this desk for a while.
Been a while.
So this is
Yeah.
great.
Summer is short.
We're halfway through. Item 8D is to accept a report on electric transmission and distribution relocation for the City of Moorhead's 20th, 21st Street grade separation project. What is that? I've been hearing about that. Yeah.
No idea what it is.
I have no idea.
All right, just wanted to provide you guys a quick update. Again, Travis Schmidt, Electrical Engineering Manager. We're going to do a quick update as we start this construction for the transmission side, and we've already started the construction for the distribution side. As you're all aware, groundbreaking was yesterday. We're still looking at roughly $1.4 million in costs on the electric division to relocate both the transmission and distribution facilities in the area of the 21st Street grade separation project. We started the distribution last fall, and hopefully we'll be starting roughly around July 30th, the transmission construction side of things. Hopefully, both will be completed towards the end of August.
Really?
That's all pending railroad crossing permits and stuff like that come in a timely manner. We're still working to get those finalized and get signed and sent back so we can start our construction or finalize our construction. I provided a couple maps within the agenda item as well. One is the transmission, where the current line is located, where the new line is going to be located. And as we go through a few more of these meetings, we'll update you every meeting as much as we can on the progress of both the transmission and distribution. You'll notice that the distribution is about 60% currently complete. There's just a lot of stuff around the Moorhead Youth Hockey Arena and the south side of 20th Street that needs to be finalized yet, and we're working to get those done as well too. Questions on anything?
Travis, you mentioned a couple permits are still pending and so forth. Are there bumps in the road that are causing delays, or is that just timing?
It's, we had the permits in probably January timeframe, and once they've got roughly a 35-day window based off the Minnesota statutes for the railroad crossing. As long as they meet that 35-day criteria to get us stuff back, then it just goes through the legal process of making sure language is right. John does a lot of review on that as well too, and making sure that we're covered both legally, and there's things in there that have to be removed. There's certain insurance requirements that we can only handle, but they're asking for more and we can't do that. So we got to have those things removed. So John does a pretty good job of making sure that we get all that stuff taken care of. So there is a long process on that. Like I think we've just discussed in past meetings, we've got a master agreement coming with Otter Tail Valley Railroad and Genesee, Wyoming, who's a parent company. That should take care of some of those long time processes it takes to get the permits. So, and we'll do the same with BNSF as well once we've finalized some of this other stuff.
Any questions, folks? Ralph?
So on both electric and water, what kind of interruption, if any, should customers expect in that area?
We don't expect a lot of interruption. There'll be a switch over, of course, from the underground to the, or from the overhead to the underground, of course, but the transmission, we'll have that out for a certain period of time, but we've got a loop system, so the transmission will all stay operational. We'll just have an open loop at that point in time when we're trying to close everything in. Distribution, again, we'll try to minimize that as much as possible.
Because I'm sure if we went into September, the high school students would appreciate a couple days of outage.
Oh, I'm sure they would, but we'll try to not do that. We should be able to. They're looped anyway. So.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Travis, real quick. Are we able to anticipate with this project any of the impacts or alterations that would be necessary with some of the conceptual development plans in that neighborhood? Have we done?
Like
are we up to date with
future growth? Or
yes?
Yeah, just based off the design and what's there, we've got a pretty good idea, and we've got most of that covered. There are a couple areas that we're kind of holding off on to see what happens for development.
Okay.
So that we can take care of that later. It's outside the scope of the project.
Because the changes really do alter some of the land uses as well as even
Correct.
access.
Yep.
And such.
Yeah. And we designed it so we could avoid the project as much as possible. So we're trying not to impact anything that's going on there.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll be able to be covered for the future.
Good deal. All right. Appreciate it. Question, John? Travis?
Questions tonight.
Uncle Chris, have a seat.
Well, I think this question will pertain to both of you gentlemen. So, at the groundbreaking here, the mayor had mentioned the future project. I was assuming that was probably the 11th here she was referring to. Mm-hmm. Are you working with city staff at this point to address or look at what water and electrical moves have to be completed so we don't have a similar situation like this time around?
Yeah, we looked, it's not as impacted as 2021st Street. There are some stuff, and we'll have to work with staff on that as well too to make sure we get everything covered. But that area for the electric side has a lot less facilities in it than this other area. So again, we still got to work on everything and get that figured out. I haven't had a chance to really visit with Bob about that. So
just please both of you keep on task on that.
Sure, will do.
Thank you.
Chris?
Just wanted to speak up with respect to the 2020 First Street in terms of service.
Who are you?
Chris Knutson, Water Division Manager. With respect to the 2020 First Street service interruptions, we will have to shut down the Red River water transmission line for a period of about 3 weeks for that relocation as part of the project. So we will be on all wells for 3 weeks, so people will definitely notice that change. We'll do a press release for it, but we talked to the contractor a little bit and started getting a game plan together. We don't know exactly when it's going to be yet, but you'll definitely see a press release, and you'll definitely notice the taste in the water. It will change quite a bit. So that's one of the big impacts of the project for the water side. There'll be some temp water also for customers. Be kind of traditionally observed in a water main replacement project. You'll see some of that stuff as well laid out as part of the project.
So good news is there will be water. Bad news is it won't taste as well as usual.
Right. Yeah, you nailed it.
And I never noticed. You warn us that way, and shoot, it comes and goes. I never even noticed. So maybe we're more sensitive than we need to be. But
sure.
Yeah. While you're up there, how's the water tower project coming?
Water tower project's going very well. A couple of weeks ahead of schedule, hoping to finish up mid-August here. Should see the logo and some of that stuff come together probably late July, early August, depending on how things go and how weather shakes out. Project's going very well, no change orders as of yet. And they take the containment down. The tank is just bright white right now. So it looks, I would say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Ralph, we did a site tour recently. Ralph was able to attend, and if you have any.
It was impressive. I mean, you go under that shroud, and you realize how big that tower is in the first place. And they took 120 tons of sand to blast it.
Real?
Yeah, so you go in there and there's this big layer of sand and stuff. It's pretty interesting. And how much was it per gallon of paint? It's a specialized paint. It's like
$380 or somewhere around that.
Paint per gallon. Yeah.
Oh.
So
and they need like 60 for each coat. It's pretty impressive. And the crew that's working on there, I mean, you see them working and you realize those are experts. I mean, they're up there and doing their stuff, and under that shroud, it's hot and it's windy and all that stuff, but it was pretty impressive to actually see that and see it being cleaned up. So.
I love how it looks when the shroud's drawn up. It looks like it's wearing a hat.
Yeah. But fortunately, be completing that project before 2020 First Street. From a fire flow standpoint, having that tower online before they shut down some of the transmission mains associated with that project is critical. So we plan for that, and it's coming together pretty well.
Cool.
So
yeah, thanks for the update.
no problem.
Anything else? Moving right along then, to accept, let's see, I need a motion on that. That's true. Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
I got a motion from John to accept the report. Anyone care to second?
Second.
I was going to say, if not, we'll just, we won't accept it. And Travis,
Travis will be unhappy.
He will. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Motion is approved. Item number E is to accept a report on the electric fund transfer agreement for 2019 through 2023 with the city of Moorhead. As our council member reported, the council has approved this. It's the product of the work of both bodies, and I think we are in agreement. Any discussion as we move into this? Do we need any detailed report on it? It was in your homework.
Right, yeah, and Chuck really gave the report that the council did approve it. The commission had approved it previously, so this is just a report, basically just to say that the council has completed their side of it. You've already signed it. I believe the council.
No surprises.
No surprises. So the nice thing is it's a 5-year agreement. It kind of makes it so that every fall we aren't really talking about this part of it. That's from a staff level, that's the biggest win in a lot of this. So, and it gives some increases, but it's a controlled increase, which is healthy as well. And I think when we report to the bond rating agencies that we've got an agreement, they're impressed. So I think it works in a number of different ways. So good work, good accomplishment.
And then the key going forward, I guess, is that we find new and and interesting ways to sell more electricity. So that the floor is inoperative and that we really start to share the proceeds of sales. So, but in the meantime, this works well for everybody. I'd entertain a motion.
I move approval of, accept the report, I guess. Do we accept the report or do we approve the agreement?
Accept the report. You've already approved the agreement.
Yeah, we agree.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So I move to accept the report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion is approved. Item number 9 is an item to approve an agreement with ZFF Energy and funding for the electric vehicle charging station. Who's up on that one?
If Dennis would come down here and kind of give an overview, this would be that'd be a good thing for him to do. Thanks, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis Eisenbrown, Energy Services Manager. ZEF Energy is the contractor that is being used by a larger group that has a $5 million DOE grant to provide a clean energy corridor from Michigan to Montana. That includes propane, natural gas, some compressed gas, and part of that grant was to have electric charging stations. And they were looking for places to put this, and they actually had approached Missouri River Energy Services looking for places to put chargers. Now, at the same time, we were looking to put a charger in ourselves, and we had earlier in the year had reviewed some different options, and we thought, well, we can put it in, but the ongoing maintenance, the costs, just wasn't something that we were really willing to go after. Then this opportunity comes up, and we're kind of going, you know, we can get a fast charging station located in Moorhead for a fraction of what we were going to spend initially, and then this outfit actually becomes a customer to us instead of us doing it ourselves. And so, you know, we accomplished what we were trying to do, but with far less money spent on our part. And we get probably one of the first, I believe the first fast charging station in the metro area. So we were first with wind, first with solar, and hopefully now we're going to be first with a fast charging station. So when I say fast, a typical charger will take overnight to hours to charge a car. This one will charge a car in 20 to 30 minutes. But it takes a lot of power to do that, and so it's there'll be some construction going on to get a transformer for it and whatnot. But you know, typically it's a 50 kilowatt unit, so that's a lot of power. But you know, you were mentioning earlier about looking for different ways to sell energy, and this is probably going to be one of the next waves coming at us for selling power, is charging cars. So, but anyway, so this agreement that we have here that we're asking you to sign, excuse me, it's really what I would call a formalized memorandum of understanding between us and the person who's installing the charger, ZEF Energy. ZEF is an acronym that stands for Zero Emissions Future. It's the name of a company based in St. Paul. That's what ZEF stands for. But this is an agreement between us, and it's simply a formalized memorandum of understanding where we agree that they can only put, you know, basically we have the rights to put the logo on the charging box, and if they decide that they want to not do it, we have first right to buy it if we want, or to, you know, thumbs up or thumbs down if they wanted to sell it to someone else. So we have some control over how it is dealt with. But the actual agreement between the charger company and the land that it's on, that's a separate agreement that is completely separate from Moorhead Public Service. That is between ZEF and the property owners at the Holiday Mall. We're not a party to that at all. This agreement is simply so we can control the logo that goes on there and control who owns it if they decide to pull out. Basically things like that. It's not anything financial beyond that point at all. And also that we're going to agree to pay half of the charge of the station, the cost of the station.
I wanted you to mention that we are contributing along with MRES on this.
Correct, yeah. Missouri River is doing half. They've already approved to do their half, and now we're asking that you formally approve that as well, so.
What is the specific location of the charging station?
The old Holiday Mall now where Starbucks is, the Qdoba's.
Right.
It's going to be in that parking lot. So kind of right between Qdoba and the bank. Or is it Noodles?
Ooh.
Noodles, I think.
Noodles,
Noodles in
okay.
the bank.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be in the little boulevard strip that's right on, I think, 28th Avenue or 24th, whatever.
Well,
it is there.
is this station one vehicle at a time? Can
This
it
will
handle a
be,
couple?
initially, it will be one station. It will, one vehicle at a time, but it's going to be set up, and I have talked to the builder of this, that they're setting themselves up so they can expand it as use increases. There's not going to be a lot of use the first year or 2 or 5, who knows? But it's definitely something that's coming. But it's meant to be expandable, and it's meant to cover as many, I believe, as many car charging types as there are. I believe Tesla owners will have to have an adapter to use this, but most Tesla owners apparently have this adapter already. And then it's also set up to charge other, there's like probably 2, I think, other charging modes that are part of the standard process, and this charge will have both. It will basically have both of those, plus the adapter, or the adaptability to go to a Tesla. So pretty much everybody.
Is this a free service to
It is not.
to the owner?
I don't know everything that Zeph does. I believe that they have possibly their own charging network that you can be a member of and purchase. I don't know any details about that at all. I know that there's a larger company, a national company called ChargePoint, where you become a member of it and you can just pull up to any of their chargers and just simply plug in and charge up and off you go. And I just don't know what Zeph does in that regard. But I think they do something, but I just don't know the details. But for people who are not a part of that, anybody can come up and charge it, then it's a credit card transaction.
I see.
Yeah, and it's, we're talking, I don't know what the price is. I'm not the provider, so I guess I don't even want to venture that. But it's cheaper.
Any questions, folks? Ralph?
So they're a customer of ours, so we get paid for the energy they use, right?
Correct. Yeah, so not only are we not paying all this extra money for maintenance on top of that, but then we actually turn around and have them as a customer to us. Best deal I think we've come up with in a long time, so I'm really happy with it.
So will there be a signage on the interstate saying there's a charging station? Is there a map that people know where to go to and stuff like that?
We will be listed on these charger apps that people have on their iPhones and Androids, basically on the smartphones. And that will literally put Moorhead on the map. Alexandria is also going to be one of the stations. But signage, I don't know. I don't think that they will use signage. I think it's all going to be done by applications on the telephone. So.
Well, I'm putting it right in between a couple of restaurants isn't bad for restaurants.
It's true. Yeah. You can literally, come off the interstate, come in, have a cup of coffee, have a quick lunch, and by the time you're done with that, you're fully charged and ready to rock. So.
Well, are we going to do a little, maybe forum PR on the fact that there is a station in town now?
I would think so.
I would think so, yeah.
And it looks like right now that we were hoping the construction would be this summer, but it looks like it's going to be more September, October-ish now, I guess, so.
Oh, I think we ought to blow some horns on that.
Absolutely.
And Public Power Week is coming up in October.
There you go. It's a good
maybe
idea.
do something
Public
then,
Power
so.
Week.
Public Power Week.
We have a grand opening.
Our friends at Moorhead Business Association would probably like to promote something like this as a pro-business
I think there should be a
thing.
sign on the interstate that says charging station left.
Well, yeah, we could work with
I would guess they're
MnDOT.
going to have those at some point because they do have gas and, that type of thing.
It makes me wonder, Dennis, these folks like what is it, Zeph and so forth, have they provided a concept of what this is going to look like in 20 years? This is a charging station for a car, but if they see what they want to see, are parking lots going to be equipped, as a capital improvement or something, so that cars just plug in when they come in and have dinner or go to work or whatever it is?
No.
No.
I mean, they haven't done that specifically for us. I mean, I think about some of the ideas that I've seen and heard, I mean, there are inductive connections where you actually don't even have to physically connect to charge, and that's one way to charge cars. I've heard about people talking about putting chargers in the roadways so you charge as you drive. There's a lot of potential out there, but eventually as time goes on, you think of all the millions of cars on the road, and they will eventually all be converted to electric, and it's going to take a lot to power them.
Yeah.
So it's, just having a few charging stations isn't going to do it. You're going to need a lot more and different ways of doing it. So.
Well, there's one thing we talked about a couple of months ago in this group here is at what point should we require new construction to have a 220 outlet in the garages?
Yeah.
Right? And just make it as part of new construction. You have an outlet in there, so you don't have to redo stuff when the time comes. I mean, I think right now there's about 700,000 electric cars on the road. I think it was last year, and I know that some manufacturers, like I think Volvo, is going totally electric starting next year. So it may be worth for us even forget about or in addition to the charging stations, to think about what our customers should have or what new construction should have in the houses.
Yeah.
Because so they all require 220, correct?
Well, actually, you can have a slower one. You can use a standard 120 outlet. And the 220s are extra, but it does charge instead of 12 hours or 8 hours, and now it does it maybe in 4 or 6. It's all about the kilowatts behind it, and that's why this fast charger is like a 50 kilowatt station. Why I can do it in 20 minutes instead of hours. But you're talking, 120 volts versus, what this thing will put out. So.
And Ralph, you're talking about what's in the house. We actually have to worry about what's in the yard as far as transformation, and then we have to design our rates in such a way that we're recovering all the costs that are necessary, or actually providing, incentives to customers so that they can charge at night. And that's one of the issues behind, going to AMI and going to time of use rates, because time of use rates then would reward people for having an electric vehicle and charging it at night. And when we do our electric rate study here in the next few months, we're going to be looking at rates. And starting to design those so that we're ready for a lot more electric vehicles than there are right now.
And we know, I mean, at the MRAS meeting that time of use rates are coming in, 3, 4, 5 years, and we have how many meters to replace, 40,000 or something? So we need to really make a plan around that.
Yep. And we do have people right now that are getting electric vehicles that are understanding that they should be charged an off-peak type rate for charging at night, because demand isn't high at night. So, we're looking at this time. How do we do that?
The city of Elk River, Minnesota is kind of a northwestern suburb of the cities. I just saw in the MMUA newsletter today that they're actually providing, I think, $500 incentives to customers who put 220 volt charging systems in their house. So I don't know what they cost, but that's an actual utility that's providing incentives to do that. So.
Well, we've talked this one through pretty well. John?
Did John review the agreement?
Yep. Yeah, John was instrumental. He did an excellent job helping MRES and MPS with the agreement. Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, we went through several drafts and came up with one that worked pretty well.
And, we started with a basic document, and then John looked at it, and we worked with it. We worked with Zeph Energy, so everybody, all the parties involved have seen it, and everybody's happy. So.
And just one more shout out to Dennis, because he has done an excellent job with this program, because Dave Anderson and I were at the airport talking to a council person about, are we going to have electric charging stations? And we talked about that last year. We put money in the budget, and Dennis was able to come in way under budget by collaborating with someone else. And because the business model doesn't necessarily work right now with a charging station and for having us own it. And this is a very nice way to get it in, spread the risks, spread the costs, and Dennis pulled that all together. So good job, Dennis.
Well, thank you very much.
I know that council member will be very glad that we're taking this action, and she's probably watching, so.
Well, and I'd like to add one item about the council member, Melissa Fabian.
right.
She and I are going to be co-presenting at the Moorhead Business Association tomorrow morning, talking about car chargers. So,
Yeah, she has been a champion for this. So.
yeah, so she'll be the customer and I'll be the utility guy. And so we'll basically give them a presentation from both angles, so. And we'll also talk about what demand means to customers.
Yeah, okay.
So we were asked about that last time. So.
All right. I'd entertain a motion to, let's see, is this one an accepted report? No, approve.
Approve.
I'll make that motion approve.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with ZEF Energy and funding for the electric vehicle charging station. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion is approved.
And I'll do one more follow-up, just so that you know it's coming. You know, we had our rate hearing, adjusting the rate for this car charging station. That'll be coming in August, I believe,
Correct, yeah.
to approve the rate. So we have to wait 30 days before we do a rate approval. So you'll see one more shot where we talk about electric vehicle charging stations, and that'll be in August.
Yeah, and that does benefit other customers, not just car charging people, so.
Yep. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. The meeting will now be closed for executive session as authorized by Minnesota Statute Section 13D.05 Subdivision 3C. 13A, to discuss agreements with the City of Moorhead concerning real property interests with respect to the City of Moorhead's 20th, 21st Street grade separation project. And 13B, to discuss agreements with the City of Moorhead concerning real property interests with respect to the Elm Street Power Plant site and land near Moorhead Public Services Opportunity Substation. And last but not least, 13C, to discuss possible property transactions involving parcel numbers 58.307.0120, 58.307.0130. Do I have to read all these? 58.470.0010 and 58.470.0090. Do we expect to take action? No. We do not.
No, we don't expect that we'll be taking action.
Okay, so no action is expected, so we will adjourn upon conclusion of the executive session. Anything else before we head in there? I think we need a motion.
I move to go into executive session.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second to go into executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.